Hello, ladies. Welcome in. I am so excited to be with you today. We have a very important video. We are going to be talking about how to get out of a rut. If you are feeling stuck, if you feel like you've lost your spark, you are going to get it back by the end of this video. I have a proven method. I'm bringing out my own personal inner work journey today. And there was a moment in my life a few months back where I felt like I was in a rut. And then I came out of it and I journaled everything that I did. And I said, Alexis, if you ever feel stuck again, come back to this page. So what I wrote and what I went through, I really want to share with you. I feel like right before going into summer, a lot of us get into a rut because the New Year's resolutions aren't working out so much. And it feels like everything is moving very quick. And it's kind of like that halfway, it's May 2nd, halfway through the year mark. So let's get right into the video and bring that beautiful feminine energy spark back to life. I'm going to share 8 tips and 8 inner work practices that you can go through to help get you out of that rut. The first one is going to be the easiest, going to be the most simple, and it's to ask yourself, are you just in your luteal phase? Okay, because that week before your period comes, it might feel like the longest 7 to 10 days of your life. I promise that your hormones are trying to make you slow down. We're going to talk about cycle syncing for a little bit because what I notice even happens in my own life is this luteal phase, it feels so low at times that it impacts the rest of my month. That month turns into a few months, turns into half a year. And then I go, wait, why have I been in a rut? Well, if you had just worked on your hormones and worked with your period, worked with your cycle, the rest of your life would be a lot smoother. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. And also, ladies, if you want to see a full-length video on cycle syncing, let me know because that has been something that I feel is on my heart to do. So I'd love to create that for you. Okay, so cycle syncing. This is what I personally do to help soothe that luteal phase. If you don't know what the luteal phase is, it's that week right before your period comes. I like to think of your cycle weeks as months and seasons. So your menstrual phase, your period, is winter. Hibernating, resting, eating, restoring your body. Then after winter comes spring, comes your follicular phase. That is when your energy starts picking up, your estrogen starts picking up a little bit. Then after spring comes summer. Most women's favorite cycle phase is the ovulatory phase. So this is when you're feeling really good. This is when scientifically women are found to be their most attractive. And so in this phase, you're really looking for how can you reproduce? How can you meet different mates? How can you be social and expand your tribe, expand your genealogy? And then sadly, after summer comes fall, but it's not so sad. It's actually a beautiful thing. Your luteal phase is like fall. It's when the leaves start dying off the trees. It's when you feel like, wait, I was just so happy. What's happening? I was so disciplined with my eating routine. Now I'm eating chips and ice cream and all these cravings. That is supposed to happen. And I have a theory that why we even have this luteal phase is that God wants us precious women to slow down 7 to 10 days out of the month and cry and to release. We're not meant to be on the go 9 to 5, 26 days out of the month. That is not normal for us. And so unfortunately, we're in this grind as women, but I feel like our period, we have such emotional turmoil because we are meant to feel things that the rest of the month we didn't process or feel. So when you feel irritated, when you feel angry, when you find yourself crying for no reason, that is a beautiful thing. Your body is perfectly normal. Your hormones are perfectly healthy. You're just in your fall season. Hibernate, my girl, eat your snacks. Don't hang out with people. Do hang out with people, whatever is best for you. Hi, ladies. I love seeing you in the live chat, by the way. And also, ladies, I've been experimenting with live streaming from my phone versus my camera. I'm using my camera right now. Will you please let me know how you like the quality? When I do it from my phone, there's always this glitching sound. It sounds like a crack, like a crackling in the audio. And I see your comments. Thank you so much for your feedback. I've tried upgrading my Wi-Fi. I have the best possible Wi-Fi that I can have. Still hasn't fixed the issue. And so please let me know if the sound and video quality is good for you. All right, back on this topic. So here's what I personally do when I'm in my luteal phase. By the way, I am on the last day of my period. So I resonate to my girls who are in the luteal. That was me last week, okay? All right. So specifically my social battery. This is something I have learned my lesson again and again. Alexis, Do not plan to be social during your luteal phase. Naturally, I'm more of an introvert. I love recharging with alone time. When it comes to a Friday night like tonight, what am I going to do? I'm going to hang out with my dog. And that's just going to be a very beautiful, peaceful night for me. I would rather do that than go to a restaurant with a bunch of people or a group thing. That's just how I am around this phase. So what I do is I put a mental and an energetic boundary around these 7 to 10 days when I'm in my luteal phase. Personally, my luteal phase is probably, so I would count my period as day 1. I would say my luteal phase begins around day, let's just say day 20. And then the next 30, thank God, not the next 10 days until it gets to day 1, that is when I'm in my luteal. So I have a longer luteal phase. And what I do is those 10 days, when people ask me to hang out, I will say, can we do the following week? Or I will say, I'm just not available this week. Because in the moment that I'm making plans, I'm in my ovulatory phase. It's summer, I'm feeling good. Yeah, I want to go out. And if I make plans for a week later, I never want to do the plans. And I hate canceling on people. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I would rather not have that feeling of dreading getting ready, dreading going out, hoping, can they please cancel the plans? No, I'm just going to cancel the plans ahead of time. And so I create a boundary around this to protect my energy. Also, what I do is I prioritize rest over exercise. Something so crazy happened earlier this year. I went through this luteal phase where I didn't have time to work out. For whatever was happening, life got so busy that I didn't have time. Usually I like to work out 5 days a week. Every morning I wake up early, I go to the gym. I love that exercise time. But for some reason, during these 10 days, I didn't go to the gym. Instead, I would just go for walks. That was the best luteal phase and the best period that I have ever had. Instead of being like this, my emotions were like this, just so balanced. And again, why I'm focusing so heavily on hormones in your period is because if you're like this for 10 days out of the month, the rest of the month is going to feel like you're in a rut. You're not in a rut, you're just overstimulated and your nervous system is shot. So it's so important to balance your hormones in this phase. And so I noticed, wait, if I don't go to the gym in my luteal phase, I feel so good when I'm on my period. So instead I sleep in a bit extra, I go for walks, and if I'm not feeling the gym, I will skip it without any guilt. And I had it so backwards because you always hear people saying rest when you're on your period, right? I feel so energized and alive when I'm on my period. I love going to the gym. I did this gym class yesterday that kicked my butt. I'm so sore right now and I love it. I don't know what it is, but the week before, for me, that is when I need to rest. Winter, I feel good. My period, I feel good and energized. So you have to work with what your body says. Just try it. Slow down in your luteal phase. Don't work out. Sleep extra. If you can get 9 hours of sleep, girl, you will be feeling so good. You will not have those cravings or the mood swings as drastically as if you were pushing your body. Okay, last one, then we will move to the actual number 1 for this strategy. Last one is let go of ambitions. Don't listen to your thoughts and cry out your emotions. So that first part, let go of ambitions. I know it's not just me, okay? Because I've talked to my girlfriends about this. You know when you're in your luteal phase and you start questioning everything? Is this the job for me? Is this the relationship for me? What's the point of living? I don't know. Those questions, they are not you. It is the hormones talking. It is your hormones trying to pull you to hibernate, pull you out of the world that you have been so ingrained in to say, it's time to hibernate so that we can prepare for winter, so that we can prepare for our period. Don't let those thoughts telling you, let's not be ambitious, this dream, this goal, we can't do it. Everything is going to feel super overwhelming for you in your luteal phase. It should, because you shouldn't be thinking about that. You should be thinking about gathering the acorns and the harvest so that you can go and have a nice winter. Next, don't listen to your thoughts. Already covered this. Your thoughts, they are not you, okay? Walk away from the thoughts. Literally imagine you are closing a door on your thoughts. That is how you're going to walk away from them. And also cry and process out emotions. So I noticed that I will be watching the most simple TikTok. It's like a woman that just brought a new puppy home and I'm bawling. I also saw this trend on TikTok. It's a really beautiful trend. And there's moms that are having their toddler or their kid next to them, and they're having their kid try to finish toxic phrases in sentences that generations before had used. So an example would be a mom saying, "Hey, sweetie, finish the sentence for me. I brought you into this world. I can," and then the kid has to finish. And it's such a beautiful trend. The kid sits there and they're like, "You brought me into this world so you could hug me, so that you could love me." It's the cutest thing. Because I think the problem is a lot of earlier generations would say phrases such as, "I brought you into this world, I can take you out. Um, just wait until your dad blank. Just wait until your dad gets home." And these toddlers are finishing these phrases in such a beautiful way. They have no idea what the toxic version would be because their parents have never spoken that to them. Anyways, those types of videos make me so emotional. I'm sitting eating my breakfast, I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful thing. And the emotions come out because they are supposed to. You've been holding them in the whole month. What I imagine is that, let's just say this coconut is full of all your emotions. Let's say someone was rude to you at work, or you almost got into a car accident, and now your adrenaline is up, all these built up emotions. Well, once you're in your luteal phase, that cup has filled up for the month. You're almost at the start of your new cycle where it's day one again. They have to spill out so that you can become empty and be ready to hold the emotions for the new phase, going into winter, starting with day one again. All right, so that pretty much sums up. That was just the intro, okay? We're just warming up. Let's get into points number 1 through number 8, how to get out of a rut and get your spark back. But please first ask yourself, am I in a rut or am I just in my luteal phase? Let me check the chat real quick. It is so great to see you, ladies. I missed you so much. Those 2 weeks that I wasn't live because I got into the car accident and I needed to just rest, recalm my nervous system. I miss you so much. I'm so happy to be back and to be doing live streams again. All right, let's see. The questions that you have that are a different topic than this, I will go ahead and answer those at the end. Luteal phase currently. Girls, stay strong, okay? All right, let's get into number 1. This one is my favorite. This is my favorite. My sister and I were just talking about this. Decide that you get to be so back. What I mean by that is I saw this guy on TikTok. It was the cutest video. He was going for a walk and he was just strutting down the sidewalk, and he goes, "Do you realize that you can just wake up and be like, we're so back. I'm going to level my life up. I'm going to get things in order." Any day you can decide, oh, we are so back. I like to think of the energy as when you come out of a breakup. You know how they say women go through a villain era? Okay, I've definitely been here. It's the most powerful energy. So much of what I have created in my business, in my personal life, has been from this heartbreak and from this anger, because when you get shaken up so much, you have no choice but to pour this energy into something fruitful. A heartbreak is actually one of the best things that you can experience. Not so much while you're in it, but what comes after. And I always talk about how I was so shocked when I first announced my Divine and Aligned business program. Majority of the women who signed up, when I got to know them and speak with them, they were all going through a heartbreak. And I thought, why is it that when a woman goes through a heartbreak, she starts changing her life? She starts getting the energy to start her own business, to start making money, to glow up, to get in the gym. It's this energy of, oh, we are so back. You get to decide that. That is how you get out of a rut. And so there's 2 ways that you can do this. Number 1, imagine that your heart just got broken. If you just got dumped, or if someone just broke your trust, how would you feel? Imagine it playing out. What would you do? Okay, maybe you would block that person and set that boundary and say, nope, you don't get access to me anymore. Then you would start going and getting in the gym. You would go and maybe travel. You would maybe go and move to a new city. I don't know what you would do, but you know. So visualize what that experience would be like and start to live as if that is happening. Not the breakup part, but the aftermath. Start to play that out. Or, so you can imagine that your heart just got broken, or imagine that you have an unexpected event coming up. I do this all the time. What if you were getting married in 6 months? Like, what if you met your dream man tomorrow, which is so possible, and in 6 months you get married? Okay? Would you feel like you are in shape for your wedding? Would you feel like you are mentally in shape for your wedding? Would you feel like you have your life and your business and you're traveling? Would you feel like you've taken full advantage of that so that you can now enjoy this next season that you're going into? Maybe you have a competition coming up. Maybe you are getting ready to do a half marathon, or you are doing a dance competition. You're trying something new. Do you feel like you are physically and mentally in shape to go and do that competition? Another example, you have a vacation. Okay, summer is coming up. If you're watching this in May, summer is coming up, girl. If you had a spontaneous Europe trip next summer, would you be ready? Would you have the wardrobe ready for it? Would you have the body that you feel you glow, you feel healthy, you feel confident in your skin? Would you feel like you are ready to go on that trip? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I wish that I created that quote. That was not my own quote. I heard that and I thought it was so good. Stay ready so that you don't have to get ready. Because when opportunities come, it is too late to prepare. You start preparing right now because the opportunity is on its way and you will be ready when it comes. 2 more points and then we'll move to point number 2. What is one area of your inner beauty that you want to enhance right now? So an example, something that I am doing right now, like I mean in this very second, is I am breaking a block of self-consciousness. So I don't know if you can see it, but on my lip here, I have a cold sore. I feel so insecure, so self-conscious when I get cold sores. Since February, going to the US, traveling back to Dubai, situations with my business, getting into the car accident, getting a new puppy and sleeping 5 hours a night, it has felt from me nonstop since February, and I knew this was coming. My immune system has become so weak. I have been really focusing heavily on juicing, on pouring my vitamin C into my body because I know my immune system is weak because my nervous system has been shaken up so much. And so whenever that happens for me, sadly, I get a cold sore. I've gotten them since I was young. I hate them. They're so painful. If you go through them, just know that I feel you, okay? I know what it's like to wake up, have a giant bump on your lip that doesn't go away for 7 days. And you can't do anything about it. You can't hide it. I mean, I'm wearing makeup on mine, which I'm going to take off immediately afterwards. But you know what I was so tempted to do earlier this week as soon as I got it? I'm not making a YouTube video this week. Imagine that I let such a small, minor flaw determine what I do with my purpose. Imagine I let a cold sore go, nope, you don't get to go and pour into your community this week because we're going to sit and be self-conscious. An area of my own inner beauty that I am enhancing right now is dropping the self-consciousness and showing up anyway. Because I know if I let this control my life, and if I avoid looking at people in the eye, if I try to hide my face or say no to, like I was so tempted to cancel plans with my girlfriends this weekend, earlier this week that I had, but I said no. Because if I ingrain this as a pattern in my mind now, where I let my physical determine how I feel inside and how I show up in life, it is going to be a very rough life for me. And so I don't let the physical determine my worth or how I feel. I decide how I feel, and then the physical can reflect that. It's actually so minor. Why it's triggering for me to get cold sores is because it takes me back to when I had really a lot of acne. My skin would constantly break out. And at this point in my life, I was a teenager in high school, even going into my early adulthood in college. And I remember I would not go out of the house. I would not look people in the eye. When people would look at me, all I could think about was they're looking at my skin. And the cold sore kind of reminds me of that. So right now I'm actively healing that wound because it is still a wound for me. But even doing something like this, I appreciate you ladies always giving a safe space for me to show up and to just have so much love in this community. I feel safe to do that because of you. So thank you so much. And please know that there's things that I go through that are not easy. That is still a part of the feminine energy journey. You still get to be in your feminine energy, even if you don't feel like it. Even if you feel like there's something so gross or so wrong or so flawed about you. You decide how flawed it actually is, because I promise you, people don't actually care as much as you think. Okay, so self-consciousness with my cold sore, that's an area of my inner work beauty that I'm wanting to enhance. It could be something such as your self-talk. Maybe you want more positive self-talk. Maybe you want to enhance your light feminine energy, how happy you are, how kind, how generous, how open-hearted you are. Maybe that's an area that you want to enhance. Maybe it's your confidence. So whatever it is for you, pick one area. That's what you're going to start to level up and enhance. All right, the second part of this, what is one area of your outer beauty that you want to enhance? I love this one too, because of course we love beauty. I love beauty. I love makeup. I love hair care. I love everything like that. I love being a girl. Every day I'm like, God, thank you so much for making me a girl. Okay. Even if I had the luteal phase, I will take it. So maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's your smell. I recently just got a hair treatment and I got a trim. I love it. I feel extra confident. I feel my hair is extra healthy now. And so maybe you want to do something like get a keratin treatment. Maybe you need to get a trim. Maybe you want to color your hair. I don't know what it's going to be. But what is it for you that you want to enhance when it comes to your outer beauty? Think of it as just playing with your character in life. Life is so short. If you fast forward a time 60 years from now, what would that version of you had wished she experimented with more? I used to be so scared of, I can't pierce my ears, or like I can't dye my hair, which I still have never dyed my hair. I am scared with that one. But this is your palette to play with. So have so much fun with it. Your smell. I love this one. Experiment with your smell and you will start to get out of your rut. Just a spray of this very specific Arab perfume that I have. I got it here in Dubai. Just a spray of it makes me feel like a different woman. When I was teaching the glow print, this is my course for my girls who want to become a coach, an inner work coach, a feminine energy coach. If that's something on your heart, I cannot recommend the glow print enough. The support in the group. For example, a woman, she posted in our Facebook group the other day, she goes, ladies, I just had my first coaching call and everyone was celebrating her and giving her encouragement. Another woman had asked, she goes, guys, I was coaching someone. This woman was also coached and she recommended that I lower my prices. Every single woman in the glow print in the comments goes, do not lower your prices. You are just being tested right now. If you need support like that, I think it is so essential going into your coaching journey or even just opening up a business. Get in the glow print. I cannot recommend it enough. You ladies are awesome that are in there. Anyways, why I bring that up is because when I was teaching this course, I knew that I wanted to bring a new energy to it. I really wanted to pour everything into it. It was the #1 requested course I have ever gotten. Every time I would go to teach this course, I would take this perfume. It's in my Dubai vlog, by the way, this perfume. I would take it, I would spray it on, and I would feel so ready to teach. It's like this new energy. You know, if you take a sip of caffeine or if you put a piece of gum in your mouth that's minty, how you just feel so revived. That is what smell can do for you. Smell can transport you back in time. It can pull up memories. I was reading this book and it said that smell is actually the strongest vehicle of a time machine because you can smell something very specific and go, wait, I remember this feeling of being a kid and smelling this. So your smell is very, very powerful. If you ask a man, what are some of the most attractive things about their woman? They will say the way that she smells. And so level up your smell. That will help you to get your spark back. Maybe you want to level up your makeup skills. Maybe you want to get a snatched waist, anything like that. Go for it. I cannot believe we're on #1. I still have 7 more. I just love sharing these with you ladies. And I feel like this is why I don't post on TikTok as much anymore because I love long form content. I love getting deep and really going all into a topic. So I love it. Okay, let me check the comments real quick and then we'll move to point #2. Right when I lost my spark. Thank you. Girl, I've got you. You're going to get it back, okay? I'm currently embodying a 21-day quantum discipline routine I've designed for myself for this exact reason, being ready to receive all the things I'm calling in. Girl, love this for you. Yep. You are perfectly in line with, where is it? The next one, actually, point #2. Hair care, yep. I love hair care. I feel like I cannot get enough of it. Hair oiling, learning about how to grow your hair, learning about how to massage your scalp, learning about what hair symbolizes and how it reflects the health in our body. And by the way, it's not just hair. It is truly your scalp. Even if you do not have hair, it is the way that you treat your head. It is how nourished your head is. That is what truly matters. Your hair is just an extension of that. Ooh, oxygen facials. You know what's so funny is I used to live in Las Vegas, and if you walk on the strip, you will see oxygen facials everywhere. I don't know what it is. I would always think, this is so cool. I want to try it. My mom always said no when we were young and I wanted to try it, but maybe I'll have to do that now. Hello from Sydney. Hey, girl. Okay, so that was point number 1. Decide we are so back. All right, number 2. Number 2 is discipline. I have a whole video on discipline. I'm going to link it for you if you're watching live. If you could just give me a few minutes after the live stream ends, I'll put it in the description. Discipline. This is your key to get out of a rut. If you take away one thing from this video, please let it be this. The less disciplined you are, the less you have a will to live. That's right. There is science that now confirms this. It's in my discipline video. I'm not going to get too much into it here because I explain everything in this live stream. Every time you choose pleasure over discipline, you are shrinking what is called your anterior mid-cingulate cortex. It's an area in your brain that is designed to track your will to live and to give life to it. If you are shrinking this part of your brain, your will to live is decreasing. I have a theory that most people who say, I'm depressed, I don't want to be in this world anymore, they have engaged in so much pleasure, choosing instant gratification, scrolling all the time, making poor decisions when they should have been more disciplined. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm saying that it's choices like this, choosing pleasure over discipline, that have shrunk this area of their brain and decreased their will to live. Every time you choose discipline, you wake up instead of hitting snooze. You go to the gym instead of watching Netflix and scrolling on Instagram all morning. You choose something healthy that will make your body feel better now or feel better later, rather than better tasting now. So for example, choosing eggs and fruit in the morning over waffles. You're going to feel better long-term having protein and having sugar that actually gives your body benefits long-term, rather than something that's going to give you a crash later. Choose delayed gratification, and it will increase your will to live. You will grow this area of your brain that is responsible for keeping you motivated in life. You need discipline. How I like to describe feminine and masculine energy is the feminine energy is the egg. It's that inner part of the egg. The masculine energy is the shell around the egg. When you do not have discipline, your shell is cracked and your feminine energy leaks out. That is your precious life force energy, responsible for being in love and creating polarity in your relationship, bringing babies and life into this world, creating your dream business. Your life force energy is your power as a woman. If you don't have discipline, that means your masculine energy shell is cracked. Your life force energy is leaking out. Even worse, if you have zero discipline, if it's constant pleasure, laying on the couch, doing this, doing that, you have no shell. Your feminine energy is just a blob on the ground. No wonder why you feel like you don't have a spark. You don't have anything supporting you and holding you up. How you're going to get that back is small acts of discipline. It could be something such as, you know what, today I'm going to choose 3 meals that are so protein rich, that are so vitamin nutrient rich, rather than the usual junk food that I have. You know what, instead of staying up till midnight on my phone, I'm going to go to bed at 10 p.m. and I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and get out in the sun first thing in the morning. I'm going to call those relatives that I've been putting off, rather than saying, I can do it later. Procrastination is giving you pain. You just don't feel it. We think it's releasing pain because it's not doing the action in the moment, but it's actually creating pain. If you find yourself procrastinating, a live stream I would recommend that you watch is How to Stop Creating Suffering. Just type that on YouTube, awwlexis. There's 2 parts because the video got disrupted, but that is going to help you stop procrastinating. So discipline. Discipline also increases your self-respect. You know, when you have had a very productive day of being disciplined, honoring the goals that you have set for yourself, you lay your head on the pillow at night and you go, I feel so accomplished today. Not every day has to be like that, of course, but majority out of the month, that is how your day should feel. Like you did everything that you could to make that day the most productive, the best possible that it could be. Not productive as in you have to be working 9 to 5 and creating a project and setting up your YouTube channel. Productive as in you honored the commitments that you made to yourself, whether it was to take time to rest, to make a new recipe, to hang out with a friend. You honor the commitments that you make to yourself. I think this is why we are so anxious without discipline, is because we know we are wasting time. And I have to recommend this book to you guys. It's called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. I put it on my Instagram story because it was that good. It is the best book that I have read this year. So in 4,000 Weeks, what the author is talking about is how there's two ideas that exist at the same time. Number one, time is not infinite. We unconsciously know time is always ticking, time is always running out. On the other side, we know when we're wasting time. And so why we feel anxious, procrastinating, and wasting time, not being disciplined, throwing the whole day away, is because over here, while we know we're wasting time and that sucks, we also know time is ticking. And because it's ticking, we have just wasted a whole day. We have just wasted a sliver out of our whole life proportion. He says it much more clearly than I do. That is what I took away from it. Why we are anxious when we procrastinate is because we know time is not infinite and we are wasting it. That doesn't feel good. That causes anxiety. You have to be disciplined in your life. You have to love yourself enough to be disciplined in life. All right. And then having a routine. Have a routine. That is going to keep your feminine energy supported. Having a routine is going to keep that shell strong for your egg. If you don't have a routine and it's just, whatever feels good, yes, there's a time and a place to have that, of course, your luteal phase. But don't make every day like that. I've noticed this with a lot of my students that are business owners and myself as well. When you become your own boss, it is so easy to fall into the trap of losing your routine. You don't have anyone telling you when to show up to work, what to wear, that you have to get ready that day. And so it easily can become you waste a whole morning. Suddenly it's 3 p.m. You're like, I haven't done anything all day. Get a routine so that you don't have to think, so that you can turn off that mental energy and instead take that mental energy that's going into thinking, what am I going to do next? What's the next part of my routine? Take that mental energy, pour it into something that's going to be fruitful instead. So that's number 2, is have discipline. That will get you out of that rut. Let's see, let me check in the chat. We have so many ladies from Sydney, Australia. I think this is a sign that I need to go there. Hello. What is the book's name? 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Hi from London, first time tuning in. Rama, it's so good to have you, girl. Welcome, welcome. Hello from Milan. Sophia, I love it, girl. Milan. Hello from Zambia. Oh my gosh, Francesca, that sounds beautiful. Good day, queens. All right. Okay, I'll just keep chatting with you ladies all day. Let me get back to this one. Number 3. Okay, this one came from my personal inner work journal. So this one is extra special. Dance every night before bed for 5 minutes or pick 2 songs. I don't know how to emphasize this enough, but there is a change that happens to your feminine energy when you let loose and you dance. And I didn't know if there's any science behind this until the other day. I was looking up this study and it was talking about how the number one thing that has relieved depression amongst the most groups of people is dancing. They have found a correlation between dancing and a decrease of depression, symptoms of depression being released when people dance and move their bodies. We've talked about this, I think, since day 1 of talking about feminine energy on YouTube. Dancing before bed. So I don't know why I started doing this. Actually, I do. So for the holidays, I was in the US with my family and we went to go and see Mufasa, which so good, ladies. Okay, so good. In the movie, there's this song. It's called something like My Brother. If you know, you know. I love this song. Like, I'm addicted to it. So what I did when I got back here is I set up my speaker at night before bed one night and I played this song. It's something like, What did you say about my brother? It's the cutest song. It's just so catchy and it reminds me of being with my family. So I'm playing this song and I'm just dancing around my apartment. I go to bed the next day. I'm like, I feel so good. I feel that my stress is relieved. I feel like my hips, like when I walk, I'm able to move my waist and really activate that sensual walk. If you're in Master Your Feminine Energy, you know the walk. I feel like that can be a lot easier to open when I dance before bed. So I'm going to challenge you to do this for all of the rest of the month, for the next 30 days. Dance for 5 minutes before bed. I personally love Latin music. I love Latin music. You can choose Arab music, you can choose country music, whatever feels good for you. Turn that on, play it as loud as possible. Move your hips, move your weights, let go of control, let go of perfection. Your routine doesn't have to be beautiful. Maybe you can even imagine scenarios like if the love of your life was in front of you, how would you dance? Like what would be going on, you know? So maybe there's even a scenario where you feel like there's a very romantic connection and you can just be so free flowing with your partner. So if you're married too, invite your partner in. He's going to feel very uncomfortable, but I promise you ladies, men love this. They love this deep down because they have to be their strong, masculine selves all day. But for a few minutes, they can just release and have fun. My mom gave me this advice and it's so true. She goes, Alexis, when it comes to men, every single man just wants to be a little boy again. He wants to feel like a little boy. Invite him in if you have a partner to just be a little kid with you and to dance and let loose. You're also doing what's called somatic therapy. You are releasing blocked emotions from your body. You are loosening up your hips, your waist. You're just letting go of stress. You're boosting those endorphins. There could not be more benefits or something more beneficial than dancing before bed. All right. Number 4, walk every night before you go to bed. I love this. I went to a holistic doctor out here in Dubai who had me start doing this. He said either dance for 45 minutes before bed or walk for an hour before bed. And I thought, but after eating and maybe I've just watched a Netflix show, I don't want to go for a walk. I want to go and shower and go to bed. But I started doing this. It has changed my life, ladies. I feel like I'm so excited to go out and explore. If you live somewhere that's very hot or very cold, what I would recommend you to do, my assistant and I were just meeting last week and she was telling me about this. I think it's genius. She got a treadmill or like a walking mat for her house. So you can get something like that. I literally see it on TikTok Shop all the time. You can probably get one for $30. Order one, watch your show. Maybe you can even eat a snack while you're on it, whatever you have to do to get motivated. But walk before you go to bed. Why this is important is because you are going to be starting that rest and digest process. And when you walk, what you are doing is all that food, all of those emotions, all those experiences, they start to get processed before bed. If you just eat and then you go straight to bed like I used to do, you wake up the next morning and you don't feel good. And how I know this is bad for me, TMI warning, I could not go to the bathroom. I could not go poop the next day because that food was still trying to digest and it was stuck. When you go for a walk, you're starting the rest and digest process. And also what I believe is happening is you're getting your body out of survival mode. When you are in survival mode, one of the first functions of your body to turn off is your digestion. Because if you're outrunning a bear, you don't need to be processing food. So your body will turn it off to save your energy to live. If you trick your mind almost and say, all right, digestive process, let's get going, your body goes, we must not be in survival mode. So I think that is happening when you go for a walk. If you do that before bed, you're going to wake up so refreshed, and that's going to help get you out of that rut. It also provides mental clarity. There's so many benefits to going for a walk. It releases anxiety. It helps you think and process. And I recommend don't listen to anything. Don't watch anything on your phone. Just walk and observe your surroundings. All right. Let's see. So that was number 4. I'm going to summarize points 1 through 4, then we'll move to points 5 through 8. Number 1, decide we are so back. I just love saying that. Every morning I'm like, we're so back. Number 2, discipline. Number 3, dance freely every night before bed. And number 4 is walk after dinner and before going to bed. All right. Number 5, say yes to connecting with others. My girls who are introverts, I'm sending you extra love right now because I feel you. But what is happening in our world is devastating because we think we are connecting with others. That's not connecting. It's a false sense of connection, and we are becoming sad, unmotivated, uninspired human beings because we are losing the art of connection. We saw this during COVID. Yes, there was this wave of healing and it was beautiful, but there was also a new birth of a lot of mental health issues because people were alone. They weren't connecting with other people. It is so important to connect with other people. That is the purpose of life. Even if you look at prisons and if you look at the worst form of punishment, it's always isolation. It's a dark, empty dungeon or a hole that prisoner has to go in where they don't have access to talk to anybody. They go crazy. When psychologists study them, their mind has changed. When you don't connect with people, your mind is starting to deteriorate. We're not meant to be living alone. We are meant to be with other people. And so something that I had written in my journal when I was like, Alexis, if you ever feel like you're in a rut, come back and do these things. I had put, say yes to meeting up with people, say yes to opportunities that come. I did this in February, right before I went to the US. I was thinking, you know what? Or no, I was doing this in January. I said, you know what? It's January 2025. I have been living in Dubai for almost a year and I've been such a homebody. I don't go out that much. I have a few friends that I see and that's it. What I'm going to do this whole month is say yes to every opportunity that comes. Usually my girlfriends will ask me to go to this event or if I want to go out and do this. And most of the time I would say no if it wasn't something that was like a quiet, intimate, one-on-one setting, because that's honestly my favorite. But what I did is I said, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to break my routine. If a girlfriend asks me to go to a workout class, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't need to go and do my own thing at the gym. I can say yes and go and connect with her. Every opportunity that came the month of January, I said yes. And I had never felt happier. It was the craziest thing to experience. So say yes to connecting with other people. Say yes to making friends. If you feel like you don't have friends, please go and watch my video. Type awwlexis female friendships. I have a whole guide on where to meet these women, qualities to look for, because your friends will change your life. My sisters are everything. I feel so happy, so confident, so free to be myself because of the encouragement that they give me. I cannot imagine my life without them. So please get yourself good quality friends. You deserve it. And I recommend going to thefeminineglow.com, scroll down to where it says our community group, the Glow Girl Chat, join the chat. Ladies have joined the chat. They meet up. They're like, hey, ladies, who lives in Sydney, Australia, or who lives in North Carolina? And girls will respond, I do. Let's go and grab a matcha, or let's go to brunch. And the women meet up and then they become friends. So there's a whole network waiting for you, whether it's the Glow Girl community, whether it's women at your church, at your fitness group, whatever it is. Be bold enough to ask someone to hang out, because when women ask you to do that, you probably feel excited and special. So make someone else feel that way too. All right. Why did you, I think this question is, why did you pick awwlexis as your YouTube name? So I had a YouTube channel since I was like 13. If you watch my original videos, yeah, I'm not going to say it's cringe because I don't believe that you can be cringe. I feel like we only think of something as cringy when we feel that there's a part of ourselves being triggered or we're projecting. I used to say my videos are so cringy, but that was just me when I was a teenager. I had videos where I would do like coconut oil hair masks and I would just share little tips. I loved watching YouTubers when I was younger. I loved them so much. Like My Life as Ava, Bethany Moda, YouTubers like that. And so I thought, you know what? My dream is to be a YouTuber. So I would start to make videos. But the problem was, for me, I made videos that weren't actually a reflection of me. Yes, I love beauty and hair and stuff like that, but my purpose that God has given me is to empower women. I stopped doing YouTube because I had barely any subscribers. I felt so stuck. I would get like 12 views a video. And I only made maybe 7 videos until I was age 21 or 22. Then at that point, when COVID was happening and I was making TikTok videos, I thought, you know what? I do these live streams on TikTok with the girls and they always ask if I can save and record them. I'm just going to film the live stream I do with them on my phone and I'll post that on YouTube. Then they can go back and watch it. Immediately, my channel started blowing up. It hit 10K, then 20, then 30K. I was like oh my gosh, maybe my path is YouTube. So I got back on YouTube and here we are. Now, I love you ladies. This is my dream community and I love creating on here. But I did think about changing my name because awwlexis was something that my teenage self picked. I thought that it was cute. AWW like awe and then Lexus. I wanted something that was unique that no one else had and that just fit perfect. So I just went with it and I've never changed it since. Yes. Okay. So say yes to connecting with others. Number 6 is read. This one is one of the most important. If there is not an educational book in my rotation of books, I'm off. I'm not myself. And so, what I mean by this, I read about 4 books at a time. I'm not actually reading like 4 books a day. I have 4 books in my rotation that, depending on my mood, I will read it. So, for example, my romance or like my fiction book right now, it's what is it called? It's the book about Pixie Hollow, about Tinkerbell, but Queen Clarion's story. Wings of Starlight, something like that. I loved Tinkerbell when I was a little girl, and I saw that there was a new book about the Queen story, and I think this one is more made for adults. I read it before bed. I've been reading it for like the past 2 months, just very slow, and I love it. So that's my rotation. Pride and Prejudice is still in my rotation. The 2 books that I've read most recently, one of them I finished today. It was so good. It was called Ichigo Ichi. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's Ichigo, separate word Ichie. And it's a Japanese concept that talks about how every single moment is so unique and will never be experienced again. And because of that, we should slow down, truly be in the present moment, and stop trying to live in the past and the future. One of my friends gifted me this book, and she goes, Alexis, I think that you're going to like this. I picked it up. I'm obsessed. I finished it so quickly. I started it last week and it's so good. And then the other book that I just finished is called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman, about the concept of time. These books, so when I was talking about being in a rut a few months ago, what I noticed was, wait, I'm not reading. Yes, I'm listening to podcasts and maybe I'm reading a fiction book. Excuse me. But I don't have any books that are actually growing my mind. And when your mind is not growing, it is shrinking. I talk about this in Master Your Feminine Energy. Your brain needs novelty because there's so many things that we are doing that we don't even know that is shrinking our brain, that is lowering our levels of happiness. And if you can pick those back up, your feminine energy is going to be balanced and brought back to life so much more. Growing your brain and growing and how much you know, that is going to take you so far in life. There's a quote by Myron Golden, love this man, and he says, do not let a full day go by where you have not learned anything new. That really shook me up. I thought, whoa, we only get 365 days out of the year. Imagine I let one of those go by and I have not learned anything new. Books are absolute gold. You get to rent from a library or pay $10 to $30 for a book that is full of someone's life wisdom. Someone is handing you their key to their gold vault and going, here you go. All of their wisdom and experience is in these pages that you get to read. I still cannot believe that things like the internet are free. I cannot believe that we get access to books like this to grow our mind. It's almost like a fish swimming in water. They don't realize that there's so much beautiful and abundant water around them. We don't realize how much access to information we have. You can have the power to feel so happy. You can have the power to change your life in 3 to 6 months just by reading consistently. This is how I started my 3 businesses. During COVID, I was studying in school. I was studying business. And I had a lot of extra time because it was during COVID. I picked up the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. My jaw dropped. I was thinking, what in the world am I doing with my life when these possibilities are out here, when this way of thinking is out here? After that book, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Changed my life. Then I read The Compound Effect, then The 10X Rule. All of these books, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been studying at my university, but this information I've never come across before. How come people don't talk about this? They do, I just wasn't listening. because instead of picking up a book, I was picking up my phone and scrolling. That is what I mean when I say discipline will take you so far in life, because when you choose the thing that is harder, such as reading a physical book rather than scrolling or reading cliff notes. And I promise, reading the summarized version of a book, those 10-minute summaries of books, that is not going to cut it. Reading a book from page to finish, it will change your life from page to finish. So read a book. If you are in a rut, ask yourself, am I learning or growing? If not, I guarantee that's the number one cause to why you feel stuck. If I did not read those books, I would not have my businesses. I truly feel that way. They would have come a lot later. My full book list, I have almost every book that I've ever read in that inner work journey that I went through before launching my business. I have that book list inside of Master Your Feminine Energy, inside that program. My girls who are in that program, go back to that list. I've even highlighted the ones like, please, out of this category, if you read any of them, let it be this one. All right. And also, when we don't have a challenge, we get so bored. Here's a funny example of this. And what I want to also say is maybe you're not in a rut, maybe you're just bored. So when I was a teenager, I used to play Grand Theft Auto with my brothers. Okay, I'm sure you would never expect me to say that, but it's the truth. I used to play GTA with my brothers, and it was so fun. I love games where you can just create an avatar and run around and do whatever you want. And so in GTA, I just have memories coming back and I cannot talk about them on here. Okay. In GTA, there's cheat codes that you can have. I'm so sorry. There's cheat codes that you can have. If you don't know what GTA is, good. You have protected your light feminine energy. So there's cheat codes in GTA, such as you can get $1 million in your bank account, or you can hack a mission, you can get a helicopter, things like that. And so, okay, I promise I'm going to be serious now. Okay, so when I would start, my brothers, they were so good at hacking the game. When I would start getting all these cheat codes from my brother, here's what would happen. Every Saturday morning was when I was allowed to play video games. I would wake up, I would go to the loft, I'd be like, yay, GTA, I would load it, and I would have so much fun playing. Then my brother started giving me these cheat codes. At first, I was on cloud nine. What do you mean? I don't have to work and do these missions to get money to buy a new outfit or to buy a new apartment, things like that. I would okay, I would literally steal cars in the game. You know, in GTA, it's so sad, but like you push people out of the car and you take their car. That's how my character used to get cars. Now my brothers go, Alexis, you don't have to do that. We're going to do this cheat code and you can have $1 million in your bank account. Now you can buy whatever car you want. And we did that over and over again. Suddenly I'm in the penthouse. I have my dream car. I'm like, wait, this is so boring now. And I stopped playing the game. That is what happens when you become bored in life. When you stop learning, when you start being handed the hacks, which I think social media and our phone is doing because it makes things too easy and too quick for us. When you start being able to order instant groceries, when you start being able to look up a question, you know how when you're watching a movie and you're like, where is that actor from? What other role were they in? And instead of taking 10 seconds to think about it, you go to Google. Nothing wrong with that, but you're slowing down how quick your brain can think. And over time, you're going to become so bored because life has become too easy. You have all of the hacks. And so people want to stop playing the game of life. They don't want to exist anymore. I think it's because they are just bored. They need discipline, they need a routine, and they need a challenge. Books can challenge you. Yes, so that was number 6. Read. Don't play GTA. That's not what I'm saying. Read. All right. I play GTA because of my brother too. Yeah. And I'm still wondering, when I was playing GTA, they were talking about GTA 6 coming out. It still has not come out. I don't know what's going on over there. Not that I'm going to play it or anything, but yeah. All right. Number 7, love this one. It's nice and easy. Eat fruit every single morning. This one may sound simple, but it will get you out of that rut and get your spark back, because it will bring a spark to your digestive system, which will bring a spark to your skin. So a few months back, like maybe last summer actually, I started learning and researching about glucose spikes and blood sugar spikes. And I started hearing a lot of health advisors say that women especially should not be eating fruit, that it spikes our blood sugar too much, especially in the morning. And so I stopped eating fruit. This is also another point to say, listen to your body, because your body knows the answer better than any health expert, any coach. Like even me, when I tell you something, process it through your own body and your intuition first, because you know best. So I stopped eating fruit. It would just be eggs, like nuts, avocado, vegetables, things like that in the morning. And I didn't feel good. I thought maybe it's just because my breakfast is boring. I love breakfast. I love brunch. Maybe that's why my mood is off. But no, I needed fruit. When I went to Thailand with my mom, my grandpa lives in Thailand, and every morning he got fresh fruit from the street vendors, and then he would come and prepare it for my mom and I. It was the most special, it was the cutest thing. And why I loved it so much is that whole day I had so much energy. I was thinking, Grandpa, I don't know if it's from the fruit, but I feel so good. My skin started to glow. I started to feel so energized. And what I started talking with my mom about is maybe we are supposed to have fruit in the morning. On vacation, I stopped caring about the blood sugar spikes and getting 30 grams of protein in the morning. I'm just going to eat whatever is at the hotel or whatever my grandpa was making. And so when I was eating this way, I carried it back here to Dubai. And I started having dragon fruit, because that's what my grandpa would make. It reminds me of him. Raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, and pomegranate seeds. That is my beautiful fruit concoction that I have every morning. I just had it this morning. So good. I put that in a giant wooden bowl, and I eat that along with my eggs, my avocado. I might be doing an updated what I eat in a day video for you ladies. I know that that has been highly requested. So I may be doing another one of those very soon. I eat that. I feel so good all day. My skin feels so plump. It feels so glowy. The antioxidants are filling my body with nutrients. I'm getting my vitamins, getting my vitamin C. My digestive system is a lot better. Listen to what your body is telling you and eat that way. Eat that fruit in the morning. I think a lot of research today that they're finding about food, they're going to find the opposite of it in 30 years. You know how they say eat, like we need 30 grams of protein for breakfast? They might say, no, that's actually way too much for women in 30 years. The food trends are always changing. So how about you pick what feels good for your body? Don't listen to the trends. All right, okay, we'll save that one. Number 8, create. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it's so satisfying that it does. Number 8, create. When you are not creating, you will feel like you are in a rut. Myron Golden also talks about this, how we are created in God's image. And what does God do? He creates. He created earth. He created people. If you look at the first part of the Bible, it's all about God's creations. God is the master artist. So we are made in God's image, and we are made to be like God. God gives us the model. Create, take a day to rest. This is why it even talks about the importance of rest in so many Bible devotionals, because people think, no, I just need to work. I need to please God and honor him by burning myself out. No, God took a day of rest because he was also modeling for us. You need to do that too. When we are not creating, we're not being like God. We're being in our own world of, no, let me just engage in this pleasure. Let me just be lazy. Let me just not do anything. And I also want to say that not creating can come from a state of survival mode. You may be in a freeze mode where your nervous system is so dysregulated that you can't sit and create because you are energetically outrunning that bear still. Watch my video, How to Heal Survival Mode. That will massively, massively help you. But we're meant to create. The best that I've ever felt in my life is when I have been creating my businesses. I have a project, as I've told you ladies in the last video, that I'm working on now. I'm so excited and I cannot wait to tell you more about it. It's the first time I've ever done something like this. And every work day, I dedicate the first 45 minutes to working on this project. And when I'm in the zone, I don't want to stop. I feel so good. I feel so confident. And honestly, this project was one that really, really scared me. I procrastinated January through March. I did not do this project. Even though December 31st, when I'm making my vision board, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do that this year. It took until April to start doing this. And once I started working on this project, I felt alive again. I felt like I'm living in my purpose. Creating is how you are going to do this. So whether it's creating a business, creating a YouTube channel, creating a new recipe, maybe it's creating a new routine for yourself, maybe it's creating a vision board. Notice how you feel so excited when you're working on a vision board. You're in your creative energy, and there's nothing that feels better. My girls who have started their own businesses, they will probably tell you that mode where they're deep into the 12-hour days, they're like, oh, I need to research this and set up this website and do this. It feels so good. It's like you go into this hibernation mode. And I remember when I was setting up the Feminine Glow, I barely ate because I was so filled up on creating. I would go, so let's say I would wake up, I would start working on my business, setting up my website and just creating content on TikTok. And I remember it would be evening time. I'm like, I've barely eaten today. Then I would go and eat dinner with my family and get right back to work till like 9 p.m. Now I'm like, how did I do that? But because I was in that creative mode, I had extra energy. That is what creating is going to do for you. It's charging that life force energy. So how do you get out of a rut? You create. I'm going to summarize the 8 points and then give you a bonus one, and then we will go ahead and check into the chat. So number 1, decide we are so back. Number 2, have discipline. Number 3, dance freely every night before bed. Number 4, walk every night before bed. Number 5, say yes to connecting with others. Number 6, read, grow your mind. Number 7, eat fruit every single morning. And number 8, create. Here's a bonus one. Listen to your body. This goes back to point number 7 about eating the fruit every morning. Listen to your body because you know best. Tune out the other voices. Even if you find yourself always going to someone for advice, practice going to yourself for that advice. You already know the answer. You're just looking for it to be mirrored back from someone else. What is your body telling you that it needs? We're going to do an activity. I want you to put your hand over your heart. Take these next 20 seconds to just ask your body, what does it need? Body, what do you need? What have you been trying to tell me for the last week, for the last few weeks, maybe for the last year? What do you need right now? I'm here, I'm listening. Anything that you need. It's safe to tell me what you need. My body said I need some water. My throat is dry. Every time I do a YouTube video, I just get so excited I forget to drink water. So what is it that your body needs? And honor that. And what if you took time throughout the day from now on to just ask, body, what do you need? Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's to call that relative that you've been procrastinating on. Maybe it's you need to slow down. I was talking to someone the other day and they were saying, do you watch YouTube videos at 1.5 or at 2 times speed? And I said, no, but I remember when I used to. And every area of my life, I would try to put on 2 times speed. But I made a decision, if I can't even listen to a video at normal speed, I'm not going to be able to be a very functional human being in the next coming years with all of the technological advancements. I need to be able to slow down and be present and not be so quick and always moving very fast. So maybe you need to slow down. Maybe if you're watching this video at 1.5 speed, girl, I'm calling you out. Turn it back to normal. Otherwise, your life will move at that speed and you're going to miss it. We only get 4,000 weeks average. If you are speeding up that time, you're going to miss it. We think, no, we're actually getting so much more done. Nope, you're actually not enjoying any of the present moment. You're living in the future, always trying to speed things up. So what is it that your body needs? All right. Let me check into the chat. Thank you so much, ladies. I've loved sharing this content with you. And please let me know any videos that you like to see. I always love your suggestions. My body said, I need you to trust me. Girl, that is so good. I feel excited for you. I'm so curious what it is that your body's like, we've got this. Just trust. Relaxation, love. God speaks to me through my body. Baby girl, it's time to take action. Anna, love. Absolutely. I used to always think that's my intuition. Now I realize it's the Holy Spirit. I would get chills randomly. I'm like, I wonder what that means. It's God trying to go, wake up. I'm trying to tell you something. He absolutely speaks. I hear my puppy crying in the other room and it makes me so sad. Every time if I'm working and I put him in his kennel in the other room, what I tell him is, but I have to do this. I have to work so that I can put food on the table for us, okay? And that makes it a little bit better because I hate when he cries. Maybe I'll go get him since this is the Q&A part. Okay, ladies, give me 15 seconds. I'll be right back. You want to say hi to the girls? Yay! Do you want to say hi to the girls? Here's Gus. Hi, Gus. Can you say hi? Say hi, bud. Let me grab his toy. I got this corn on the cob for him because he's teething right now. He bites everything. Oh my gosh. He bites my hair. He bites my couch. Bud. Oh, he needs to release some energy for a little bit. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. That dress is so beautiful. I got this dress in Spain. Spain has the best clothes I have ever experienced. So I have like 5 of these types of dresses because when I was in Madrid and Barcelona, I saw them and I thought, this is actually my dream style. It's something that feels like I'm not wearing anything. It feels so light. It feels so flowy. It's so comfortable. And he's going crazy, guys. And I thought, this is what I want to wear every day. So I got the same dress, but in like 4 different patterns, brought it back here, and it is my favorite. Little nuggets, yes. Hi, bud. You're crazy right now. Oh, gosh, he makes my life so happy. This morning, I was taking a shower. He jumped into my shower. I was like, bud, now you're all wet. This is crazy. He wants to be a part of everything that I do. He's definitely a Velcro dog. Okay, can you be nice? Hi. Can you say hi to the girls? Can you say hi? I'm vacationing in Madrid right now. Girl, love that for you. Oh my gosh, please enjoy for me. Madrid is beautiful. Oh, bye. Hi, Alexis. I wanted to ask you what to do if your parents love your siblings more. Wow. Okay, this is such a good question. And I'm going to share a story with you that I've never shared on YouTube, actually. One of my younger brothers had cancer when he was younger, and I think he was about 6. So I was maybe 10 years old at this time. When this happened, my family, it was very, very traumatic because everyone thought he's not going to live anymore. Like it was very, very scary what's going to happen. And I remember I had a parent who treated this sibling way more favorably than my other siblings and I. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. And my heart goes out to you because I very much know what that's like when you feel like your parent loves a sibling more. I felt that. And it's very hard, especially, I don't think it gets easier as an adult because it's still a wound that's being created. So I remember at this point thinking, yeah, this sucks, but I understand because he has cancer. So of course my parents want to give him more love and attention, or this parent wants to give him more love and attention. My brother, thanks to God, healed. He is 100% okay now. Even after that, there was still some favoritism. And I was very, very jealous and just very, very hurt as a young girl watching this. And I remember thinking, as a kid, I actually didn't make much sense of it. But you know what? As an adult, here's my perspective now. For a parent to favorite or love a kid more, there must be some sort of wound. There must be something that they know that I don't. There must be some part of themselves that they see in this kid that maybe I don't connect to, or maybe I can't see. I don't know what it's like to be a parent, and I trust that they are doing the best job that they can. Parents don't have a rule book. And while I do think it's a shame that more parents are not more emotionally mature, that's definitely the case. It's also their first time being a parent. It's also their first time living. It doesn't say anything about your worth. It is all about the parent. I was actually just watching a video this morning, and it was talking about the story of Joseph. And it was talking about how Joseph was favored more. Joseph, he's a character in the Bible, and Joseph was favored more by his father, and all of his brothers grew very, very jealous. And that jealousy ended up hurting the brothers later on. The emotions that you feel because of the favoritism and the love, don't let it take you off path or destroy you. A lot of the times we try to predict the future, or we try to make sense of the past. Imagine that's being done right now by trying to understand why this parent favors the other kid more. You can't figure it out. It's something between the parent and that sibling, and it's not for us to figure out. What is for us to figure out is what does make us feel loved. Where can we go where we do feel loved? I had a very, very wonderful parent who did give me so much love and who never made me feel like there's favorites. And so go where you are loved, and try not to take it personal. As hard as it sounds when you're in it, but it's not personal. It's something that you can't ever put your finger on, that you can't ever wrap your mind around. You might never know the reason why, but don't make yourself question your worth. It's like someone walking into a Mercedes-Benz dealership and saying, this G-Wagon should not be $100,000. The people at the dealership would laugh and be like, okay, Toyota is down the street. You can go there. If someone's coming up to you and being like, you're not worth this love, you're not worth being favorited, you're not worth this. Okay, you are not my customer. You are not the one that's supposed to be here, a part of my life. You can go down the street and get the version that you're looking for. That's why car dealerships are all together. It's just like people. There's very, very different ranges of people that are available. Go where you are loved and where your value is appreciated. All right. I love Gus Gus. Oh, girl, me too. Yes. What do you do if it feels heavy to wake up? Start walking before bed. That's number one. Pray before bed. Release, talk with God. If you feel heavy waking up, you probably didn't get the deepest sleep. And I know this because whenever I wake up heavy, I check, oh my gosh, guys, he has no concept of height. He almost fell off. Anytime I check my Aura ring and I feel heavy, I barely got any deep sleep and I barely got any REM sleep. And so when you pray before bed, talk with God. There's a Bible verse that says, don't worry about anything, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Philippians 4:6. And so when you pray and you tell God what you need, you give him your worries, that is going to ease you up and make you light before you go to sleep. Now that you have this lightness, you can have the deep sleep, and then you can wake up feeling less heavy. Also pay attention to what you eat. I notice when I have a lot of sodium or a lot of spicy foods before bed, I feel very heavy waking up. Why don't you like, I don't know if this word is supposed to be dairy, but it says, why don't you like diary? I love diaries. That's pretty much my journal. Why don't I like dairy? Because dairy and my body do not get along. Ever since I was a kid, I hated milk. I hated it. My parents would force me to drink it. It's good for your bones. I'm like, no, I would throw up. I hated it. And then in high school, my skin started breaking out. I cut dairy out completely and my skin got a lot better. And since then, I've just never gone back. That was like 10 years ago. I think dairy, I don't think there's anything wrong with dairy, but I think a lot of the dairy, especially in America, has a lot of um, like a lot of hormones in it that we're not supposed to be ingesting. It has a lot of it's not as nutritious as it used to be, and so I don't think it's as beneficial as it used to be. Zari, hey girl, go ahead, ask your question. Thank you. Ooh, love this question. So with discipline, what do you think of discipline when it comes to being on your period? Personally, I'm really tired on my period. Let the discipline go, girl. Remember how I said let the ambitions go when you're on your period or you're in your luteal phase? Give yourself the time. Here's how you balance it. While you're on your period and when you're in the luteal phase, let the ease up on the discipline. Understand your body's hibernating. Your body is shedding so much. Not only are you bleeding a lot, but your body it's tired, it's slowing down. It needs winter in order to have the spring and the summer. What you do is you slow down in these seasons and then you speed up in the follicular and the ovulatory. When the week after your period and then the week after that. Honor that discipline so strongly, girl. That's where I'm at right now because last week and the week before that, my discipline was not the best. Now it is. Because if the truth is, if it's all discipline, when you're, it's almost like restrictive eating. People who they eat so clean. You want to get down, bud? They eat so clean. Chicken, broccoli, that's it. A lot of the times it's followed by a binge because they were too strict. If it's disciplined 30 days out of the month, day 31, you're going to be like, I just want to not be disciplined. Instead, give yourself balance. Go, I don't have to be disciplined these days, but the days that I'm on my spring and summer cycle, I'm going to honor that discipline. And then it releases the guilt when you are in the fall and the winter. And because it's kind of a weird thing to say, but because my discipline battery was low last week, now it's had time to charge and it's very, very high. Like this morning, I woke up, went to the gym, ate a healthy breakfast, where in my luteal, it's like, I don't want to go to the gym and I just want to have something super savory and something a bit heavier for breakfast. And I just honor that because I trust what my body is telling me. Hi, cuteness. Hi. How to decenter men and live your life. The best tips to do this. Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind, what I was going to say is move to Dubai. Why I say that is because the ratio of men to women here is 3-1. For every one woman, there's 3 men. That is why men, I think, are so masculine here. Also, of course, because of the Middle Eastern culture, but they don't play games because if they don't pursue you, someone else will. And what I'm trying to say is get into an abundance mindset because when you are feeling abundant and you know that there's, sorry guys, 1 second. Guys, how did you get that? Guys, every live stream, where did it go? Every live stream, he finds these, like, I don't even know how he got this paper towel. Where did this come from, little guy? Every live stream. Have an abundance mindset because when you know that there are so many men out there, when you know that God has already curated your path perfectly, you don't have to do anything other than follow his will and follow the purpose and those whispers that he gives you. It's already done. Your husband is already walking on this planet. He's already marching on his way to you. Your man, whether it's male friends, whether it's your husband, he's already here. And there is an abundance of men that would love to be a part of your life, that would fight to be a part of your life. When that is your mindset, you can decenter men because you're not trying to be picked and you're not so worried about, but I have to make things happen with this guy. No. Surrendering and trusting God is how you decenter men. because if I'm focused on men, that means that I'm not focused on God. That means that I'm off my path. And if God has already put my dream man on my path and I'm off because I'm so focused, this guy, I need to make things work with him, you're never going to meet the man that is for you. So decenter men by surrendering, by trusting God, and by building a life that feels so full and complete that you love. Start creating, girl. Maybe set up a business, set up a new passion. Take that energy that you'd be pouring onto men and pour it onto something else instead. I promise it will probably be a lot more fruitful. Okay, Zari, I know that you wanted to ask a question. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. How do you deal with toxic coworkers in the workplace? Have you experienced this before with coworkers? I was just having this conversation with someone actually, dealing with toxic coworkers. So I had answered this on the last live stream, talking about anger and feminine energy. I recommend watching that live stream, girl. That's going to be very, very helpful. I had talked about in there how if you let people trigger you, if you let toxic coworkers get to you and trigger you, it's going to throw off your feminine energy and it's going to throw off your purpose. So with work, what I would do is almost create like a bubble around your energy where, yes, you can listen to the people be toxic and they can come and make their comments, but it's bouncing off your bubble and reflecting back to them. You can't control how people show up, but you can control how you feel and how you react when they do show up. So imagine that there's this bubble, the energy that they send is bouncing off. That is going to be your protection. Whatever your brain believes, it starts to receive. If your brain believes that you have this invisible barrier around you of protection, then it believes that nothing that they say can come and penetrate you or affect your energy. So I would create that experience for yourself. Yeah, toxic coworkers. That's one of those things that's really hard because you can't always walk away from the conversations or from the job. So I do feel you, girl. When I was working at my hostess job in the restaurant, there was a lot of toxicity in the form of gossip. People would talk about cheating on their partners. People would talk about going and partying and smoking weed and hooking up. And I felt that was toxic. I know that there's different forms of toxicity. I would tune that out by when I was working at the host stand, I would read a book. We had iPads to like check customers in when they would go and sit in the restaurant. I would have a book pulled up when I was not checking people in because that was my way of stepping out of that toxic reality and stepping into a fruitful reality. And also that I think that helped speed up the process to where I could get out of that job and work for myself. Can you tell me what is the name of the course Inner Work? I have 5 courses currently. The one that is completely focused on feminine energy inner work is Master Your Feminine Energy. All of the courses is inner work though. Think of the YouTube live streams, but deeper, more in depth, and in a way where I'm not triggering you, but where I'm opening up your mind and I'm opening up ideas and thoughts that maybe you've been trying to push down and to hide. You know how when someone says something and you don't want to hear it? That's how the courses are. It's saying things that make you think, that challenge your beliefs, that challenge your experience. It's saying things, so it's similar to the live streams, but more in-depth content. I always like to recommend Master Your Feminine Energy first because it's the basic foundation of inner work, how to get out of survival mode. Before even doing a program like Divine and Aligned or the Gold Vault, my money program, you have to be regulated. You have to feel confident. You have to be secure in your beliefs. You have to know how limiting beliefs and how your mind works so that you can hold and process the deeper inner work that's in the more advanced courses. So Master Your Feminine Energy is always a great place to start. But always listen to your body. There's women who they do Divine and Aligned first or magnetically polarizing first, then they go back and do Master Your Feminine Energy. Or they feel they don't need Master Your Feminine Energy. Totally fine because your body knows best. Let's see. Oh, knowing exactly what you need to hear. Girl, before making this video, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I was praying, I was thinking, God, please give me the idea for what to talk about today. I have a section on my phone called YouTube Ideas. Usually I'll go and look, is there any one of these? Like I put a lot of your recommendations in there or things with my clients or from the students that they've asked. And I think, oh, I think a lot of the other women would have this question. That's usually how I create content on YouTube. But today, none of those felt right for me. And I was praying, saying, God, please, what is it that the Glow Girls need to hear? Please give me the clarity on that. And I felt getting out of a rut, getting that spark back. Let's see. How do I get out of the free state? I want to tap into a happy life finally. Girl, as you should. Absolutely, you deserve that. Check out my video, How to Get Out of Survival Mode. That is going to be the inner work, step A to Z, to get out of that free state. Ooh, I feel like I'm always beating up when I'm disciplining myself. I'm always analyzing myself. I'm being my own strict parent. How do I deal with this and still be happy doing what I'm doing? Start viewing discipline as a reward rather than a punishment. I get to eat a breakfast that is healthy and makes me feel energized and good the rest of the day, rather than I have to eat this because I hate my body and because I know that I need to have a good routine. No, that's not what discipline is. That's self-punishment. You're disciplined because you love yourself. I believe the highest form of self-love is discipline. And also in this, I would read the book that I recommended, Ichigo Ichi, because it talks about how analyzing everything takes the joy out of it. You cannot feel joyful and analyze at the same time. When you experience a feeling that is so good and that is just so alive and so exciting, usually at least the first instinct that I would have is to start analyzing it. Okay, how did this feeling come up? What am I noticing in my body? How can I get this feeling again? That's analyzing it. So start being present in emotions, and that's how you're going to get out of the analyzing. And remember, discipline is the highest form of self-love. Also, look at how you speak to yourself. I would take a look at Master Your Feminine Energy because there's a whole topic or a whole section in there about reparenting yourself. Most of us think that we speak to ourselves very wonderfully. No, we don't. Most of us speak to ourselves so harshly, and because we always have thoughts, it's like, again, that fish swimming in water. It doesn't recognize it's in water, just like we don't recognize we're swimming in harmful thoughts. If you can start becoming conscious, catch those thoughts and say, how did I just speak to myself? If you just ate, let's say, a bag of chips, what was the immediate phrase that you said to yourself? Was it, well, now I need to walk this all off, or can't believe I did that again? Change that to, that was really enjoyable in the moment. Do I want to do that again? Or maybe my body is telling me I need to rest and slow down. Like maybe I need some sodium or salty foods. One of the best things that I've ever heard is someone say, when you're craving something, look at what it is that you're craving, because that's your body telling you what it's deprived of and what it needs. So for example, when you are craving water, you're thirsty. When you are craving sugar, you're craving energy. When you are craving something that's salty or crunchy, usually you are craving your stress to be relieved. So start paying attention to the body. Your body is beautiful and it's always telling you what it needs. All right, ladies, I'm going to get ready to head off. I'm going to spend some time with Gus now as he's going into another nap. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, please, if you can leave your feedback about how this audio and video quality was for you. I want to make the live streams the best absolutely possible that they can be. So thank you so much. I love you, ladies. I'll see you, those of you who are in the courses, I'll see you in the Facebook group, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.